Zangpo.
Kamrimo.
Jazalappa.
Chajalo.
Namaste.
Hello and welcome to the Sikkim podcast brought to you by Summit Times. Today we have Arpan Pradhan, Mr. Pema Wangchuk, and I'm Chiring Eden. I wanted to begin today by this small anecdote where before the Chief Minister and SKM President P.S. Tamang was given the permission by the Election Commission to be able to contest elections, the by-elections. Mr. Pema had said that यस्तो त हुँदैन होला, यो त अब नहुनु पर्ने, यस्तो त इलेक्सन कमिसनले पनि कसरी दिन्छ पर्मिसन भनेको थियो. एन्ड आई ह्याड सेड पहिला पनि कतिवटा कुराहरू यस्तै तपाईँले भनेको थियो हुँदैन भनेर भयो सबै हो, अन्त यसरी नै यो पनि हुन्छ भनेर भनेको थियो, एन्ड इट ह्यापेन्ड.
Yeah, so what you're saying is I'm the wrong person to have on the podcast with my opinion.
So to begin with, the Election Commission on Sunday, gave the permission for Mr. Tamang to contest elections, stating that the details of the order, if Mr. Pema could.
Yeah, it's a 7-page order for an application in which Mr. Tamang, the Chief Minister, had requested the Election Commission to reduce the period of his disqualification. That was the application submitted in June, starting of June. And he had raised several points to support his support a positive outcome. The first one was that because the crime for which he was convicted was committed at a time when this the nature of disqualification at present was not the law at that time, he said so. And that's at an argumentative level, it works to some extent that I was convicted for a crime committed at a time when this rule did not apply. At that time, you were disqualified for 6 years if you were convicted for a period for a period of more than 2 years. It did not talk about what crime. It just said 2 years. If you serve time, you'll be disqualified for 6 years.
The time
the original
conviction to sentencing had happened.
Yeah, sentencing happened later. Yeah, by the time the sentencing happened, the laws had changed, the rules had changed. His argument was that I should not be penalized for the case dragging on for so long. The crime was committed in 1996, at which time the rule said that only if you serve time for more than 2 years, 2 or more years, you'll be disqualified for a period of 6 years. So I served time only for 1 year, so this should not apply to me. Eventually the rules were changed to say that even if you're convicted under Prevention of Corruption Act, irrespective of what time you spend in prison, you'll be disqualified for a period of 6 years, right?
So
that was his one argument.
No, I will just say, in 1996 the case was filed.
The crime was committed.
The crime was committed and the sentencing
2003.
Yeah,
so
2003. Yeah, and he served time in 2017-18.
उसको मेन मतलब उयो नै त्यही छ नि पोइन्ट चाहिँ 2003 मा त्यो केस फाइल भयो, 2003 मा चाहिँ त्यो ल अर्कै थियो, अनि जुडिसियरीको डिलेले गर्दा चाहिँ किन एउटा मान्छेले सफर गर्छ भनेर चाहिँ त्यही पोइन्टको बेसिसमा.
Yes, so that was it. So but he did not, the important thing to bear in mind here is that he did not argue that I do not deserve to be disqualified for 6 years. His point was reduce the period of my disqualification.
Exactly.
Right? So he's not saying that this law does not apply to me.
Okay.
He's saying I'm disqualified for 6 years, reduce it now, and these are my grounds, right? So this is one argument. The other argument, which I think down the line, like sometime in the future, will be discussed more openly and more bravely and more confidently, is that he said that the swearing in by the governor, the governor swearing him as a chief minister, and the word he uses is can be seen as a pardon, which it is not, right? Because even the election commission has not pardoned him. You cannot be pardoned. You've already served time, right? Unless you reopen the case and find that the case was somehow mistried or whatever. So he's not been pardoned. The election commission is not saying that yes, you should not have been disqualified from contesting elections. What the election commission is saying, you have given all these reasons, and the election commission in the past, 40 years back, has reduced the period of disqualification in 2 cases. So hence, now your request is also granted. The period of disqualification from 6 years is now reduced to 1 year, 1 month, which ended in September, which qualifies him to contest for the by-elections, and he's filed his nomination papers from Poklok Kamrang today. So we can discuss this on, but there is an interesting argument that has also been raised in an article that came out in the Scroll
today.
which argues that fine, he can contest elections now, but what the Election Commission order, when read in connection with the Jayalalitha case that we kept talking about in the previous podcast, says is that the time he has served as a chief minister so far, that has become illegal. Because the Supreme Court had said that someone who cannot contest elections should not be the chief minister. And what the Election Commission order says is that yes, you can now contest elections, right? I've reduced your period of disqualification. So technically what they're also saying is that till now you could not contest elections. But till now he was the chief minister. So what exactly, it's a now it will not, it's fait accompli, right? That period is already passed. But this automatically should raise a lot of questions, right? The nature in which this was reduced. All 3 election commissioners signed on it. It comes a day after BJP and SKM announce a seat sharing alliance in which BJP gets a lion's share. Out of 3 seats, they get 2. And a day before the last date of filing nominations. So circumstantially, there will be a lot of questions that need to be asked. But no major player is asking those questions, right? People who have no real political footprint in Sikkim are raising those questions, like Baichung's party, HSP, did that yesterday. Pasang Sherpa made a lot of noise about it. I'm sure some other people will also. Congress has?
Congress today.
Oh, okay, they made some noise about it today. It is a worrying, because like they say about fairness, isn't it? When they talk about justice and performance, it's not just enough to be fair. You have to also appear to be fair. There should not be these question marks. I mean, June mein application file hua tha. Why did the order not come out in July itself?
Exactly.
Why did it come out at this particular time?
One day after the BJP SKM alliance.
Yes.
And election commission ka to पहिलादेखि नै यो in the past few years हैन कति सारो
No, in more recent, the recent elections that happened, complaints against Modi and Amit Shah for model code of conduct violations, for invoking the army after there was a clear order that you will not invoke the army in your political speeches. Those complaints, first they delayed, and then they just said, excuse them of it, right? So all of this will sometime in the future be put together, and as it is, there's this big noise in our country right now about how the institutions have been compromised, have been hollowed out, where the institutions are doing the government's bidding. They've always done that probably, right? But some things are too blatant, right?
Yeah, I was watching these videos as social media other media channels interviewing, and I just could not. I was too shocked with what happened. यो सबै यो भएको हिजोदेखि नै है तर अब there are so many other things that we were discussing yesterday also. Mr. Gole has said कि 2 जना गोले चाहिँ एमएलए हुँदैन भनेर भन्नुभएको थियो हैन.
Not Bijal. Okay, yeah, but
like his family.
No two members.
Because his son Aditya Gole is already an MLA, Soreng Chakung MLA, so एकजना मात्रै हुन्छ. I don't want to involve my family.
The same question was raised by Congress today itself.
Yes.
So what happens now? All that is...
Yeah, I mean, so okay. We don't know what they'll do eventually. I mean, in all probability. And we had this discussion in a previous podcast. Will that happen or not? And I think we had suggested that I don't think that is going to happen. Like they'll find some excuse to it. I mean, the moment there might be like a whole motorcade of people who will come up to the SKM office and saying, no, we want him as the MLA. Should he offer to resign? But right now, I think why they did not go for that option is, let's say for instance, Aditya Gole resigns, which means that seat falls vacant. There is no guarantee that the by-election will be called within the next month and a half. right? But Mr. Tamang needs to win an election within 6 months of the government being formed. So if the by-election is called, let's say, 3 months later, there will be this period during which Mr. Tamang has no constituency to contest from, right? Because it depends upon the election commission when they call the by-elections, right? So that might have been the technicality why he. So there is still the hope. Why hope? I mean, like, it's politics. I mean, he did get elected. Let's not call it hope. But given their promise, there is still a chance that he will, if his father wins, that Aditya Gole will resign. I mean, it's a very possible.
Or they might
situation.
just forget about it.
And they might forget about it because we don't know. See, the chances of SKM winning are higher because they are in government. But the one constituency from where SDF has the best chance of beating SKM or BJP is Poklok Kamrang, which is the Chief Minister's traditional constituency, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know what the verdict will play out as. So should SDF candidate win from Poklok Kamrang, then there will be a rush for some other constituency to be vacated. And Soreng Chakung is traditionally Mr. Tamang's stronghold, right? Where he's got the strongest chance of winning. So, I mean, we don't know how that will play out. But it's in a way, it's a brave move also for him to file nomination. I mean, there were no other options.
Yeah.
There were
No, it
other
is very
options.
sad. Now I remember what I saw in that video. He was saying, I think Jacob Khaling, the political secretary to CM, was saying कि हामीले like there is some resentment party ko bhitra pani त्यस्तोहरू, but the people who really love the party understand why this is being done and all that.
What is the resentment about?
This BJP SKM alliance, I think.
Okay,
It wasn't very clearly stated, but and then this being I mean, it's very clear to the public, right, that this is a deal that has happened.
This is a quid pro quo. I mean,
So-
no one
actually,
is
like, he
believing
was-
that this is ideological, right?
No, he was particularly commenting on the alliance and exactly चाहिँ उसले के भनेको भने थुप्रै सोसियल मिडियामा जब यो अलायन्स भयो बाई इलेक्सनको एसकेएम बिजेपी immediately after that senior leaders from SKM they commented against the alliance.
Okay.
Really? Who?
There are so many leaders and SKM workers. They have
नाम बोलो ना यार.
नाम अभी
नहीं कोई leader, elected leader कि party leader?
No, party leader.
Okay.
उन लोगों ने वो कमेन्ट गर्यो त्यो कारण चाहिँ उसले पर्टिकुलरली त्यसलाई
यो कुरामा भनेको है.
And his thing was कि if you love the party, then support the
like क्या
alliance.
बकवास है. Like who loves the party? In all of this, SDF भी देखो, SKM भी देखो, nobody loves the party. They all love themselves, right? सब आफ्नो लागि त गर्दैछ. Even Gole being so hell bent on being able to contest the elections and remain the chief minister. I mean, like इतना चिक, like I mean, we know why it is.
If you're in politics, these are the lessons you draw from Mahabharata, right? That is your karma, right? If you are in politics, if I'm in politics, in electoral politics, it is unfair for me not to aim to be the chief minister or the prime minister or whatever. That you have to aim for the top shot, right? If you are a warrior, you have to aim to be the king. So that ambition I don't have a problem with. How those ambitions are being met by subverting established processes and because it's quite clear, right? The people in SKM, for instance, who are now, like you said, speaking out or being critical of this alliance, would be the same people who shot down the alliance before the elections, isn't it? Because that alliance, do you remember that BJP SKM alliance was announced by BJP and then SKM backed out? The only reason that must have happened was because there was too much resentment or
within the party.
pushback within the party.
yeah.
At that time, the stakes were high, right? You needed all these people to make sure that you win. Now you already have the government. So what you're saying is, I already have the government. I do not really need for you to be happy anymore. Because government to maine bana liya na.
Yeah.
And Jacob Khaling was I found that very, very interesting. Now he's saying कि हम तो everything is transparent, right? Our party is about transparency. तो क्यों जनता को धोखा दे? वैसे भी जो भी पावर में आएगा, जो भी पार्टी पावर में आएगा, ultimately you have to support the center, whoever is at the center. So this is like...
No, there's a difference, no, between supporting and actually joining hands.
Yeah.
And it is also, I think it is also not just about the immediate political exigencies, right? It is also, I think, because of the fear that people like Amit Shah command, right? It's people are scared. I mean, politicians are scared to say no to him, I think. I mean, clearly, Election Commission is also scared to say no to him, right? Or Enforcement Directorate, for instance, or any other agency you pick in the government. They're just too scared to stand up to this guy. And so if he says, nahi, ab karna padega, to karna padega. Because then otherwise he'll bring the entire, all the agencies in the control of the central government to bear down on you.
And as a voter, I will not be voting in any of these constituencies. I'm not
Because
a
you
voter,
don't
right?
have a constituency. I mean, your constituency is not going for by-election.
Going for by-election. But as a voter, I would be so confused, no? हिजो अस्तिदेखि there's this flurry of memes, memes-हरू क्या त्यो एसकेएमको छाता मुनि चाहिँ छाता र छाता एसकेएमको कलरको छाता त्यस ल्याम्प पनि एन्ड त्यसको माथि चाहिँ कमल like this is what Sikkim politics is right now. And what I would like to ask Arpan what the मान्छेको feeling is, what you have.
Totally confused and अब के हुँदैछ भने नि even
But are they angry?
Some होला.
Yeah, somewhat. किनभने यस्तो भन्दैछ कि अब हाम्रै एरियातिर ग्याङटकमा अब कतिजना हामीले चिन्नेहरूले र दे आर नट गोइङ टु भोट ओपनली हिजो पासाङ शेर्पाले पनि इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट क्यान्डिडेट मार्ताम रुप्तेकबाट उसले हिजो ओपनली भन्यो बिजेपी एसकेएम र एसडिएफलाई सपोर्ट गर्नुभन्दा चाहिँ डोन्ट भोट आज कङ्ग्रेसले भरत बस्नेतले ओपनली भन्यो नोटामा दिनुहोस् बरु यो तिनटालाई दिनुभन्दा चाहिँ दे हेभ बिन लाइक इन्टु पोलिटिकल बिजनेस एसकेएमलाई यहाँसम्म पनि भन्यो सिक्किम क्रान्तिकारी मोर्चा नभएर सिक्किम व्यापारी मोर्चा बनाउन अब दे आर अल डुइङ बिजनेस व्यापार गर्दैछ सो उनीहरूलाई भोट गर्नुभन्दा नोटामा दिनु नोटामा भोट दियो भने बरु नोटामा भोट गरेर उनीहरूलाई हरायो भने चाहिँ दे क्यानट कन्टेस्ट इलेक्सन फर नेक्स्ट 6 years.
Is that so?
There is a clause like that? I didn't even know.
त्यसो भन्दै थियो.
I don't know.
But that वो तो होगा नहीं ना यार Nota is not going to beat everybody else.
Yeah, but like he was appealing. Appeal गर्दै थियो अब BJP, SKM and SDF लाई चाहिँ सपोर्ट नगर्नु because they all are into horse trading after all.
Yeah, because
Suppose Nota wins.
Yeah.
क्या होगा उसके बाद? But still the minimum जिसने मिला है जिसको मिला है वही जीतेगा ना?
इसने किसने बोला कि नोटा जीतने से 6
पता नहीं भी यार
out of shame होला. But no, yeah, sorry, we are not really well versed in this. I just thought that Nota was inconsequential, except just making yourself.
No, we should look into it.
But in an electoral democracy, boycotting the elections, I don't think is this option. I don't think Nota is an option either. Unless, of course, there are no options given to you, right? Then I can understand you go Nota, because then you still need to be heard, right? Yeah, that you need to do. But you have to go and vote. Because that's the only way you can get, that is the only power you have as a voter, no? In a democracy. Taking the Nota option, I mean, it's for the people to decide what they want to do, right? But I think it's like SDF boycotting the assembly. You don't do that, right? You've been like voted by the people to represent you in the assembly. Similarly, the people have been given this power. If you've got problems with it, yeah, sure, go put the Nota button or go vote for an independent candidate or go vote for some other candidate or whatever. You will be having options at least. But boycotting, because you see, when you boycott, the guy still wins. Somebody still wins. You don't get...
Nota also, the guy still wins. So what
also the
option do the people have, no?
Yes, because, see, the distrust of politicians is unfortunate, right? They've earned it, right? They've been performing in a way that you distrust politicians. But it's surprising that 10 MLAs leave SDF and go to BJP. And still SDF receives no sympathy, right? People see that as somehow SDF did this whole thing of sending them there. Whereas that is not how, when the SKM MLAs went to SDF, that was not the reaction that people had, right? At least on paper and in the politics that we've seen so far, SDF has not joined hands with BJP, right? SDF is fielding candidates. You can have problems with the kind of candidates they have, but you've got to also realize that they don't have any heavyweights left. Like all the guys who could win elections have already gone to other parties. So
I thought this was
To put SDF in the same bracket as SKM as far as BJP is concerned, I think is a bit premature at present. I mean, we don't know how it will play out. We can still have our suspicions, yes, but...
I wanted to ask you, like, I feel like in my life, pehle to, I don't remember as a kid or whatever in school, I don't remember the political scenario, but I feel like this time it's like really sad what has happened from the time the SDF MLDs went to BJP and then the BJP is joining hands with SKM and whatever, all the developments. If you look back, has there been any precedent?
Yeah. Of course, 79 elections, when Mr. Bhandari formed a government in coalition with Congress, he did, down the line, merge his party at that time, Janata Parishad, with the Congress. And then the Congress did remove him from the Chief Minister's post, and the government toppled. And even in 94, when a whole lot of Sangram MLAs left Sangram and joined Congress, the government kicked them.
No, I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about like how people are confused right now. They're not happy with any party, no? Has that happened before?
We don't know. I don't know. Hardcore supporters might still be with the party. But no, this level of confusion, or let's say this level of...
Blatant dealing.
Blatant dealing hua hai. I mean, it happened in 79. I mean, you got to remember that Congress, when it had the government up to the 80s, was just about as domineering as what the BJP has become. They used the governor's office, they used the central agencies and all that to get there, to crack down on regional parties, which is one of the reasons why regional parties became so powerful in India, as a pushback against Congress domination, right?
Okay. So that might happen, hopefully, in the future. So, no, I just remembered. What happens to GT Dhungel and M. Prasad, who said that they joined SKM because they did not want to join BJP even? You were also asking.
Yes, what happens to them?
But then this is just a bipole alliance, Panchala.
Seat-sharing alliance, there'll be a coalition government.
No, but as you then the Jacob Khalingले दिएको स्टेटमेन्टको अनुसार त they have been like with the BJP since अगाडिदेखि नै भनेर भनेको छ उसले.
Yes, as an alliance partner, not as in having merged into it or. This is not an NDA government. This is an SKM government in Sikkim, right? I mean, the BJP MLAs, the freshly minted BJP
MLAs. फेरि अस्ति त्यो अलायन्सको दिन नितिन नवीन BJP को स्टेट इन्चार्जले जुन स्टेटमेन्ट दियो, उसले चाहिँ के भन्यो भने स्टेट गभर्मेन्ट सपोज एसकेएम गभर्मेन्टले चाहन्छ भने चाहिँ दे आर रेडी टु जोइन एसकेएम गभर्मेन्ट. त्यो पनि छ फेरि, त्यसले पनि अलिकति कन्फ्युजन क्रिएट गरेको छ.
If that happens, because there is if that happens, I wonder how the SKM MLAs will respond to that also, because it's not a merger, it's a coalition government then, right? One question that all SKM supporters and MLAs will ask is, we don't need you form coalitions when you don't have the numbers, right? You have the numbers, you form the government, and still who goes in for a coalition, right? So one will be that. The moment a coalition government happens, then you've got to give them cabinet posts as well. So there will be these, some SKM ministers will have to be dropped, who will clearly not be very happy with what is happening, right? And it will have to be a substantial number, because as things stand, BJP has 10, SKM has 16. So share bhi decide karna padega. Who knows, deputy CM and all those things might also come
Jacob Khaling could be this statement. He made a statement today regarding this. If BJP has asked any
posts,
like that,
berths, ministerial berths.
He said he denied.
No, because they're not in a government. They're not an alliance government, coalition government yet. But if they become a coalition government, then to मांगने का बात, I mean, of course they deal in these things, right?
So
because it will not just be about how many ministers from. I mean, should a coalition government, in the hypothetical situation that a BJP comes into a coalition with SKM, it will not just be how many ministers. It will also be which portfolios.
That is important,
right? So उस पे भी discussion होगा.
So in case BJP 2 candidates win and SKM wins the 1 seat, then what will the count be?
12, 19.
12, 19.
No. BJP will be 12, SKM will be 19, SDF will be 1. Yeah, it's...
यो अन्त ECIको अर्डरले पुरा कन्फ्युजन क्रिएट गर्यो. कसरी भने अब 18 अलरेडी एसकेएमकोमा थियो. अब मान्छेले चाहिँ त्यही सोध्दैछ नि किन चाहिँ उनीहरूले अलरेडी उनीहरूको थियो हुँदाहुँदै पनि किन उनीहरूले चाहिँ अलायन्स गरेर गर्नु पऱ्यो भन्दा चाहिँ अब मान्छेले पनि त्यही पाराले हेर्दैछ नि उनीहरूले जस्ट टु मेक पिएस गोले कन्टेस्ट द इलेक्सन एभ्रिथिङ इज ह्यापनिङ
Yeah, I mean, that's quite obvious, right? I mean, that's like there is no politically correct way of saying it any other way.
Yeah.
This is what has happened.
And
फेरि ड्रामेटिकल्ली त्यो अलायन्सको दिन पनि अब भेन्चुङपा हि वाज लाइक ऊ अलरेडी एसकेएमको क्यान्डिडेट थियो भनेर इट वाज अलमोस्ट कन्फर्म कुनै बिजेपीमा गएर फेरि क्यान्डिडेट हुनु त्यो पनि द्याट इज अल्सो मेकिङ सम काइन्ड अफ
No, but they did that. Yeah, Rangangangamma पनि त्यही गरेको थियो by election मा. Because Basnet was the SKM candidate for the normal election, and then when by-elections happened, SKM and because this alliance is not first time, right? By-election ko lagi seat sharing or alliance is not new. Last term also it happened, and because Basnet went to BJP, contested the elections as a BJP candidate, lost, and then suddenly he was back as an SKM guy. I don't remember ever a press release coming that I've resigned from BJP and I'm going back to SKM, right? So,
yeah, let's quickly go over the by-election then. Candidates, no? From Gangtok.
is Whitey Lepcha
From BJP.
Rinzing Ongmu from SDF.
पासाङ शेर्पा इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट
Okay.
Has he filed the papers?
Yeah.
Okay, he's filed the papers.
And HSP?
डिले नामगेल अल्सो इज द्याट
SNPP?
एसएनपिपी इज अल्सो द्याट
Oh.
He's also there. He's there.
हि इज द्याट
Oh, he's there. HSP said that they'll also field candidates, and there was a chance
Baichung
that
is
Baichung
there.
will contest. Baichung will contest. Oh, that's going to be a big circus.
SDF ka is
Rinzing
Rinzing
Ongmu.
Ongmu. Then you have Martam Rumtek, Venchungpa from BJP.
पेन्चुङपामा ओ पासाङले त मार्ताम से दिया गान्तोक से नै
Okay. So,
इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट
Pasang Sherpa independent from Martam Rumtek. Sonam Venchungpa, no? His
Sonam,
name.
yeah.
He's from BJP. Then SDF has Nukchiring, Malli Sonam. And HSP might feel someone from there. We don't know
They
yet.
might.
And Boklo Kamrang has Moses
Moses
Rai from
Rai.
SDF.
एमटी शेर्पा फ्रम एसआरपी फ्रम मार्ताम रुम्तेक
Oh, okay.
निमा लेप्चा एचएसपी फ्रम मार्ताम रुम्तेक
Oh, he contested last time as well.
Same
Nima Lepcha.
candidates, right? I
Yeah.
think.
मिचुङ भुटिया इज अल्सो द्याट माई गड
Independent.
या इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट मार्ताम रुम्तेक
Oh, good.
छेवाङ डाडोल इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट मार्ताम रुम्तेक डिले नामगेलकाजी एसएनपिपी ग्याङटोक वाइटी लेप्चा रिजिङ ओङमु सोङछिङ लेप्चा एसआरपी ग्याङटोक भाइचुङ भुटिया एचएसपी ग्याङटोक कर्मा यान्तेन चङ्कापा इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट फ्रम ग्याङटोक
Oh,
Oh, almost all the previous election
okay.
guys are there.
And Boklo Kamrang will just have
No, it has 4 candidates so far.
Moses Rai, PS Gole.
PS Gole, and then 2 more candidates. I think
SRP.
SRP is fielding a candidate. And one is a dummy candidate, one is a dummy SKM candidate.
Okay.
केबी राई
Oh.
फ्रम एसके
SRP, oh.
No, this is some other.
Oh, okay.
साउथको
Okay.
So that's so Gangtok and Martam Rumtek are going to see interesting battles
Yeah.
because look at Martam Rumtek. It has one former MLA, right? Son of in Michung. Contesting as an independent. It has got Sonam Wangchungpa, who almost won the last
Yeah.
elections, very slim margin. He won in the EVMs by 1 vote and then lost in the postal ballots. He's now a BJP candidate.
Yeah.
So does that take away any votes
No, I
from
think,
him?
yeah. It's,
Gangtok is like also a
No,
very
Gangtok is interesting.
mixed.
Why did they choose Whitey Lepcha? No?
He contested last time as
Yeah,
well.
no. But then there was a lot of talk. No, कतिवटा नामहरू चल्दै थियो त्यति बेला. I had heard different
Yeah.
names, but then they ended up.
I think BJP said कम से कम एक तो BJP का candidate हो. Right, because everyone else was new
Yeah,
entrant, right?
yeah.
All the other names of people who joined a day earlier or would have to be loaned from SKM and things like that, whereas they're the only guy, and he's done a lot of work for the
He's
BJP
been there for some
at
time,
a party work.
फिर नाम्ची में पोकलो कामराम से क्यों गोले ने सिर्फ डमी कैंडिडेट लिया
Because you have to be doubly sure, I guess. एक ही सीट लड़ रहे हैं.
Feel it was all last minute.
Because that's the difference between SKM and BJP, I guess. SKM like wants to make sure that, like, if for some reason the documents don't add up. The dummy candidate they still have a candidate there, right? I mean, that's a very common procedure.
And
what if someone challenges it?
And if
Before scrutiny?
Gole loses?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the one place where there is a chance that SDF might beat SKM as things stand today would be Poklok Kamrang, right? Which is the former chief minister's traditional constituency. Yeah, but Gad Sikkim में तो voter इतने कम होते हैं, गढ़ टूटने में कितना time लगता है ना?
I don't have very high hopes that SDF.
It depends. I am not really looking at these results because it doesn't change anything. Like, it changes momentum and things like that, but the next elections are 4 years away, right?
If Gole loses, the drama continues, no?
The drama continues. The drama continues because then then Soreng Chakmung will have to be vacated.
Yeah.
And by-elections will have to be held there. And because see, right now, it's a very easy one decision for SKM to make because they do not have to release any constituency. Right? They're only going to add to their numbers. Whereas in the event that Mr. Tamang loses the elections, then SKM will have to drop a constituency and then risk it in an election, right?
That might...
And that momentum might shift, right? We don't know how it will shift. I mean, we don't know what game BJP has in mind. I mean, BJP is not in politics to serve. Like, their interests are a whole lot different, right?
Yeah. It is also possible that BJP with how many... 12? How many... If they win, how many?
12.
12, no? Then they need another... They need
5.
to get the support of 5.
5.
If it BJP
No, but then the numbers, right? SKM will have about 19 then? 19 MLAs, so you need to take about 12 to avoid anti-defection laws. So, but then if they could take 10 from SDF's 13, then what's like 12? You were saying something?
नहीं, वो बीजेपी का त आपने जैसे बोला, बीजेपी को त इन्टेन्सन अलग्गै छ नि, किनभने बीजेपी को इन्टेन्सन चाहिँ एमएलएमा भएको चाहिँ सोनाम भेन्चुङपालाई एसकेएमबाट बोलाइ टिकट किन दिनु, बीजेपीमा क्यान्डिडेट थियो नि, सो उनीहरूको इन्टेन्सन नै अलग्गै छ.
No, and which is fine. Like, to have that ambition is not wrong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for one, BJP also needs to... It is not that it will bring them any respect because like by-elections are a whole different ball game in Sikkim. But as of right now, everyone laughs at BJP because they don't have a single MLA who won on a BJP ticket. And they have 10. So right now, there's a chance that they can get 2 who win on a BJP ticket. Right? So that... I think they really want these candidates to win. So I'm sure they'll campaign very hard as well. And let's see what level of support SKM extends to them in the campaign mode here. The campaign trail will be interesting to watch.
So before we go, we thought we'd just read out this letter from one of our subscribers, one of our listeners. And we don't get very many letters. So we thought we should read this out. And this is from, we got it on Facebook from someone called Tenspas Boyd Bhutia. That must be, not his real name, but anyway. So he writes, "Hello, I greatly admire your content and I feel like Summit Times is definitely head and shoulders above other online news outlets, especially in terms of the quality of writing. Yay. As a Sikkimese living abroad, it is great to see active discussions on current issues in a well-researched podcast format rather than sensationalized news headlines and or sound bites in particular. Aga Pema Wangchuk totally stands out and it is really refreshing to hear him speak on pretty much every issue. Kudos to the whole team. I have only one request. If you could make your podcast available on iTunes, it would be super convenient for so many of us living in Sikkim and abroad to access your content. It would perhaps also make sense to have the occasional subject matter expert on your pod to give perspective on things. Thank you for your hard work. Best regards." This came
I think we read this section.
It came in August.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
we have managed to get on iTunes and many other platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Casts. I don't know, so many of them. So you could check us out there. We also have the YouTube channel with the name The Sikkim Podcast. And then after we responded to him saying that we are trying to get onto iTunes, So then we have managed to do that. Then he sent another message
Mhm.
saying, "Many thanks for uploading the pod to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other platforms. Much appreciated and subscribed." So thank you very much, Tens Pas Boyd Bhutia, for subscribing and for listening. All right then. Thank you very much for listening to the Sikkim podcast, and we hope to get back during the by-elections.
We have to be more frequent now
Yeah.
because every day something else might happen now.
Yeah.
No, we got to get our
Yeah.
2 bits in.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank